I got to say, in 21 years of being a public address announcer all throughout the Mid-Atlantic region, all throughout the United States, it's cool when you get the opportunity to announce for a professional athlete. When you get to announce for somebody that's been the best, it's a true honor. And having been the voice of the Crab Bowl for the last 3 seasons and doing it again this year, it is my honor to be able to introduce to you every player that will be playing in this year's game. Before we bring the players up, however, we'd like to take this opportunity to bring the coaches up. The head coach of the Baltimore team from Franklin High School, Mr. Anthony Burgos. And the coach of the Washington team from South River, Lance Clellan. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to do this a little bit of a town hall style meeting. I am not Jim Lehrer. This is not a presidential debate. However, we are going to have a battle of strength. We are going to have an arm wrestling competition. Just kidding. You were scared there for a second, weren't you? Honestly, I don't think you and me together can take him. Now, coaches, you have this opportunity. You have your all-stars out there in the audience. You have this chance to instill something into them going into this game. They will be playing in the shadow of FedEx Field, the shadow of where the Washington Redskins play football. There is that pressure. In the past, we've been at Towson University, we've been at Bowie State. Johnny Unitas Stadium, named for one of the greatest quarterbacks. However, now you're going to be footsteps away from a National Football League stadium. What are you going to be saying to these kids before the game to get their heads into the game, and out of that whole FedEx Field mentality?
I believe just use the skills that they've been taught over the last 4 years. Just seize the moment, like LeVar said. Seize the moment. Take advantage of every opportunity. I think these guys will prepare themselves over the last 4 years to have a tremendous game.
Yep, certainly. Whenever a group of kids like this get together, it's a very special thing. These are the best players from their counties, from their high schools. And it's like Coach said, like LeVar said, enjoy the moment. This is your chance to be honored as one of the best players in state, and enjoy the practices, enjoy some of you guys the last high school game y'all were playing, and enjoy each other, enjoy the memories you're going to make with each other, and have fun.
Now, this next question kind of goes to both coaches, because this is one of those games in which 4 years we've been playing this. Over 300 athletes have gone on to play in college. You know that you've got one of those teams in which it's not just 1 or 2 special players. It is every player that is out there is good enough to play in this game, not just good enough to play in this game. We're selected to play in this game. Coach Clellan, what does that feel like?
It's a challenge. Honestly, I've spent the past month making sure that what we're going to do offensively, that's my job, and I know defensively you're going to be able to showcase all the different abilities our players have. That's probably the one thing I'm concerned the most about, is make sure each kid leaves this game next Friday on the 21st with, man, I had a great time. And as long as I know that we do that as a staff, the 9 guys I got helping out the South team this year, I know that we have no doubts that we'll have a great time, and regardless of the outcome, it'll be fun.
So I think putting together a tremendous staff, allowing these coaches throughout the whole state to really coach up all these young men who have unbelievable skill level and talent, and just making sure that we go out there and utilize our skilled players. We're going to keep it fun, we're going to keep the ball in the air, and we're going to have some fun.
Now, when you look at the rosters, you see players from many different schools, many different backgrounds, many different systems. You have 4 days to work with them, to get them all into one system. Do you have anything kind of in your back pocket that you're going to do to try to take something that these guys have been playing for the last, not just 10, 12 weeks, but last 4 years, and then now be able to mold them into a system for probably their biggest high school game next Friday?
Again, we're going to utilize our coaches, really try to break down our practices to where we can get the maximum out of these kids, learn the offense very quickly. A lot of these guys, they train all year long, they do 7-on-7s, so they understand the competition level, they understand how to make the adjustments in the game.
Yeah, well, certainly, one of the things as a high school football coach, you spend a lot of time doing is the fundamentals. Those will be reinforced this week, smaller times than we normally probably have to do them during our typical high school practice weeks, because all these are the best of the best. We're not going to spend too much time on technique and doing those things. We're just going to spend a lot of time learning what we're going to do together and how we're going to have fun and how we're going to communicate. There's an old saying in coaching, it's not what I know, it's what I can teach. And we're just going to have fun and making something for the kids and play like this coach did, throw the ball in the air. And I know Coach Wilson plans to do that probably, and run around fast, and hopefully we have 90 offensive plays on both sides of the ball.
Now you talk about 90 offensive plays or 90 plays on the offensive side of the ball. How big are your playbooks going to be for this game?
Small.
We try to keep it simple and just put the kids in space and let them use their skill levels to make plays.
Now, apparently we're getting the Gotham style going a little bit early tonight. As a DJ myself, you quickly identify songs when you hear like the first 3 notes. I'd kill to name that tune. But as we come into the game, and we've seen it a little bit the last couple of years, we've seen some trickery. We've seen a triple reverse, which I believe was last year. As the PA announcer, that was probably the toughest play I ever had to call. Ball went this way, this way, this way, this way again. A fumble on the play, came back, another fumble, and it stayed with the team that originally had the ball. That was not a set play. Now, do you guys have any plays that you might throw in there, that one special play, that one maybe strategy play you use? You need that first down late in the game, you need to score that touchdown late in the game, because as we know, Washington and Baltimore, when they get together, play very close games. Any special plays up your sleeves?
Well, I don't know if they're special, we can't tell you, right? I mean, we can't give away secrets now. I know that our goal anyway, for this game is just make it very exciting. And last year, I think the scores last year was 10-6, and I'm pretty positive this year's game won't be 10-6. So if you like a lot of scoring and a lot of action, I think we're gonna make it worth the ticket price on Friday night.
I'll leave that to Coach Hayne and Coach Wilson. I'm kind of handling Coach White, and we'll make sure we're ready defensively for any plays like that.
Now, one of the things about being up here in the middle of these two guys is you've got the promoter over here and the master of the interview right here. Gives you just kind of grazes it a little bit. Now, we're not looking to try to figure out what your plays are going to be, but we know that we're going to see a lot of great plays. We have a lot of great players that are coming into this game from both the Baltimore area, from all over the state of Maryland, in reality. And we've seen it in years past. With those players coming out, sometimes you may have seen somebody this season, previous seasons, and you know what he can do. How are you going to be able to kind of get over that and make sure that you get every player that is out there involved in the game?
Well, compete Monday through Thursday. We try to utilize, like I said, utilize our players. Obviously, some of these guys will, play the year, or metro players, or county players, or state players. So, we're going to see what we got Monday through Thursday, and we'll be ready on Friday.
Yeah, we're just going to structure things so that each kid knows what their role is, and there are going to be a lot of special plays because of all the great players we have in this game. I know I'm very excited to coach the areas that the South represents: Anne Arundel, Prince George's, Montgomery, the SMAC, and Eastern Shore. And we're gonna, we have a ton of talented kids in that group, and we're gonna let them, remove all the thinking involved, hopefully, and let them go play.
All right, now we come down to the final question. Baltimore, Washington has a big rivalry. Growing up in the DC area, that game last weekend, pretty good game for the Redskins over the Ravens. How many Redskins? How many Redskins fans? Ravens fans? That's only because we're in Baltimore. Come on. No, there's definitely a rivalry. There always has been, going back to the days of the Baltimore Colts, Johnny Unitas, and even when football came back to Baltimore with the CFL, Washington did embrace it a little bit. But once you guys got the Ravens, see you later. But I can tell you that on the baseball side of things, there's a big rivalry between Baltimore and Washington. Coaches, are you feeling that rivalry right here? A little bit of, is it more than just bragging rights? It's more, all right, dance contest, Gangnam Style, over here right now.
You're pretty good, there you go.
Really, you're the first person to ever say that I dance pretty well. Anything going back and forth along with that rivalry? Anything that comes to mind that, you know what, I really do want to beat him?
I think it's just the nature of our sport, you know. Same way kids are natural rivals for each other. I think the coaching staff feel the same way. Baltimore coaches and the coaches that are coaching in the North. You know, we're going to come out and present our best game and prepare our kids the best way possible. And you know, we're going to compete against them as a coaching staff.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, I mean, I actually grew up close to where Coach is from, and was a Redskins fan. The Ravens weren't there. I know anyway, when I was a kid, the Redskins were way better and won all the Super Bowls. And I know last year Washington won. We're going to try to keep that tradition going.
Sounds good. Coaches, we thank you for being here. Ladies and gentlemen, your coaches for the Maryland Army National Guard grab hold. I saw a little bit of the tight hold there. For the Washington side in South River, Lance Cleland, and from Franklin High School, coaching the Baltimore team, Mr. Anthony Burgos.